in the heart of the lush, vibrant kingdom of Zandara, where the sun kissed the earth with golden rays and the rivers sang sweet melodies, lived Prince Kofi. He was the sole heir to the throne, a young man of striking features, with skin the color of polished ebony and eyes that sparkled like the stars. However, Kofi was known far and wide not just for his looks, but for his arrogance. He believed that his royal lineage made him superior to all, and he often dismissed the wisdom of his elders and the struggles of his people. One fateful day, as the annual Festival of Unity approached, the kingdom buzzed with excitement. The festival was a time when the prince was expected to showcase his leadership and humility. However, Kofi, consumed by his vanity, decided to host a grand feast in his honor, inviting only the nobility and ignoring the common folk who toiled day and night to sustain the kingdom. As the day of the feast arrived, the royal palace was adorned with opulent decorations, and the aroma of sumptuous dishes filled the air. Kofi sat at the head of the table, surrounded by his sycophants, laughing and boasting about his conquests and wealth. But amidst the revelry, an old woman, dressed in tattered clothes, approached the palace gates. She was known as Mama Zuri, a wise woman who had lived in the kingdom for decades.
Prince Kofi,
She called out, her voice steady despite her frail appearance.
I seek your audience to share a tale that may enlighten you.
Kofi, irritated by the interruption, waved her away.
I have no time for your foolish stories, old woman. Leave before I have you thrown out.
The guest chuckled, but Mama Zuri stood her ground.
Very well, but know this: true leadership is not measured by wealth or power, but by the compassion you show to those less fortunate.
Kofi's laughter faded, replaced by a flicker of annoyance.
Compassion. What do you know of leadership? I am a prince.
Indeed, you are,
She replied, her eyes piercing through his bravado.
but one day you will face a test that will reveal your true character. Will you rise to the occasion, or will your arrogance lead to your downfall?
Intrigued yet dismissive, Kofi ordered the guards to escort her away. Little did he know that Mama Zuri's words would haunt him. As the festival continued, Kofi's arrogance reached new heights. He challenged anyone who dared to question him, flaunting his wealth and status. But that night, as he lay in his lavish chamber, a strange dream enveloped him. He found himself in a desolate land, surrounded by shadows and whispers. A voice echoed,
You must learn humility, or you will lose everything.
when Kofi awoke, he felt an unsettling chill. Dismissing it as a mere nightmare, he prepared for the day ahead. However, as he stepped outside, he was met with a shocking sight. A great storm had swept through Zandara, devastating the crops and leaving many families in despair. The kingdom was in turmoil and Kofi's heart raced. He had always viewed his people as mere subjects, but now he saw their suffering. The weight of his arrogance began to press down on him. In that moment, he remembered Mama Zuri's words. He realized that he had a choice to make. Determined to prove himself, Kofi gathered his advisors and devised a plan to aid the affected families. He ordered the royal granaries to be opened, distributing food and supplies to those in need. He visited the villages, listening to the stories of the people and offering his support. Slowly, the walls he had built around his heart began to crumble. Days turned into weeks, and as the kingdom began to heal, Kofi found himself transformed. He learned the value of empathy, understanding, and true leadership. The people, once wary of their prince, began to see a glimmer of hope in his actions. They spoke of a new era, one where the prince cared for his kingdom as a father would for his children. One afternoon, as Kofi walked through the village, he encountered Mama Zuri once more. This time, he approached her with humility.
I was wrong to dismiss you.
He admitted,
Your words have changed me. How can I repay you?
The old woman smiled, her eyes twinkling with wisdom.
You have already begun to repay me, Prince Kofi. Continue to serve your people with love and humility, and you will find the true strength of a leader.
With newfound purpose, Kofi returned to the palace, ready to embrace his role as a compassionate ruler. He organized programs to educate the youth, supported local artisans, and fostered a sense of community among the people. The kingdom flourished, and Kofi's heart swelled with pride, not for his title, but for the love he had cultivated.
Years later, as Kofi stood on the balcony of the palace, overlooking the vibrant kingdom he had come to cherish, he reflected on his journey. The test of character that had once seemed a distant threat had become the cornerstone of his legacy. He had learned that true royalty was not defined by blood, but by the kindness one showed to others.
And so, the story of Prince Kofi, the once arrogant heir who became a beloved king, echoed through the ages, a testament to the power of humility and the strength of the human heart.